Hi, everyone. This is Pastor Bianca here with St. James. We are about to get started with our second life session. I'm excited about this. We're going to just wait just a few moments as you come on. And I believe Facebook and YouTube is letting all of our subscribers and our friends know that we are online and we're ready to go into our second life session. I'm excited about this. If you are on, if you're logging in, let us know you're here, where you're viewing from. Say hello in the comments. We just want to know that you're on. We just want to know that you're on. I see folks coming in. Thank you so much. And we're going to get started here in just a moment. Just a moment. Hey, everyone. Hi. And they're coming on. They're coming on. Okay, so I am your host, Bianca J. Richardson, Senior Pastor of St. James Baptist Church. And again, this is our second life session. And I'm just so excited to have the opportunity to introduce to some, present to others, a very good friend of mine, also someone who does my hair, the person who does my hair, though she didn't do it this time because of the pandemic. But as you can tell, she has given me some tips and tricks. So that's what this is about. If you have a daughter, obviously, if you're trying to do your own hair and having some issues with that, that's the purpose of this live session, is to give some tips and tricks. So I'm going to bring Krystal on. She is ready to go. Hey, Krystal.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good.
I'm excited about this session. So as we get started, I just want you to tell us a little bit about hair as it relates to your interest. How long have you been doing this? How long have you had your company? Just to give us a little bit of that, and then go into, my hair needs help. Can you help me? All right.
Absolutely. So, as Pastor Bianca stated, my name is Krystal Marie. The name of my company is All Things Beauty. Under that, I do have a hair salon business. I own a hair salon studio in Durham, North Carolina, by the name of ATB Hair Company. The primary focus of my salon is beauty from a holistic perspective. Been in business for 7 years, actually last month, made 7 years. Super excited about that. I specialize in advanced extension techniques, natural hairstyling for the corporate beauty. Natural hair is in, and corporate America is starting to embrace the natural look on women. And so just finding ways, that's my specialty. I love helping corporate women to find ways to embrace their natural in that particular setting. Also, color. Healthy hair is always the top priority. Of any service. My clients will tell you, I'm quick to say, we can't do that this time. But what we can do is, and just provide solutions to kind of get you to your ultimate goal. I'm going to jump right in just because I love talking about stuff like this. If you've ever had the opportunity to sit in my chair, a lot of times I will explain and then over explain. That's my way of educating you and just giving you information as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of touch on is natural hair. So natural hair, again, this has been something that just the world women have been embracing for several years now. It's not going anywhere. And a lot of us are in a position where we're natural, but we go to a hairstylist. And our hairstylist is the one that tells us, okay, do this, do that. I got a nice little natural updo, and this is how you maintain it. But you don't have to worry about taking it down or doing much of anything in between your appointments. So for that, if you find yourself in that category, one of the biggest things that I want to say to you right now is do not neglect your hair. Whether you have braids like myself, or if you have, had a twist out or a 2-strand twist set or whatever style you went into quarantine with, do not neglect your hair. Of course, the health of your hair, your ability to retain the length, to avoid different hair challenges depends on your caring for your hair just as you would any other time. So the biggest things I want to say about natural hair during this time being quarantined is cleanse, condition, and moisturize. Of course, when you're cleansing your hair, there's a lot of talk about co-washing and things like that. I won't get into that right now, but those are the three things that you want to focus on: making sure that your hair and your scalp is properly cleansed, conditioning your hair and scalp appropriately, and then moisturizing your hair. Moisture is going to be a running theme throughout everything that I say during this time. You'll see that and you'll understand why towards the end. Cleansing, there are a lot of natural hair products out there on the market. And in my salon, I use three primary, but the one that I'm focusing on today is the Influence brand. It's a specific brand that you can only get from a distributor or a hair salon. And I love it. It smells great. It works for just about anybody's hair texture, regardless of if you have straight, wavy, super curly. It's a product that can be used across various ethnicities as well. And so that's why I absolutely love this product line. For cleansing, the first thing I typically is my go-to is the honey almond shampoo. This product is amazing. A little bit goes a long way. It's super moisturizing. And then you don't have to use a whole lot. So I can literally use maybe a quarter sized amount in my hand, emulsify it in my hands, really making sure that I'm kind of working it through from root to tip. The first shampoo that you're going to do while you're at home is really just going to be focusing on taking that top layer of gunk from the elements. So if you walk through a cloud of smoke, someone was smoking, or car exhaust, and then some of the particles from that attached itself to your hair, it's going to be able to kind of strip that away from your hair strand. The second shampoo is what's really going to focus on and really eating away at the oils and things a little bit deeper. That's going to be more of your deep cleansing. I like to shampoo with that twice, just because, like I said, I don't just want to take off that top layer of the elements. I want to get a deep cleanse. And so I'll shampoo, massaging in with the fingertips, super, super important. That way you can kind of work away whatever buildup has started to solidify, i.e. dandruff or whatever the case may be on your scalp. The second thing that I typically like to use for my natural clients in the salon, I follow up with the honey almond conditioner, again by Influence. Again, super moisturizing, very pleasant smell. People love it. Almost a lot of times they're like, "Oh, Krystal, what's that?" It smells like candy or food. Smells amazing. And again, one of the reasons why I do like to use pair products together is most hair product lines are intended to be used. Their products are intended to work together. So the shampoo from this particular line is created and formulated to work well and complement the conditioner, which is created to complement the styling products and so on and so forth. So that's why I always, if you're able to, if you have a stylist, make sure you're ordering from your hairstylist. Later, we will definitely put up some information on the screen if you're in need of products. And want to be able to take advantage of ordering some of these products. We'll definitely put that information up later. As far as moisturizing, there's several different ways to moisturize. The biggest thing I look for in a particular product is something that's going to be water-based. Of course, I can go back in and seal it with oil, but water-based products are going to be great. Right now, what I've been doing for many of my clients, and actually when you come into the salon, typically I will always use a leave-in conditioner. I don't just want to condition you that one time. I want to make sure that I'm putting as much moisture and safeguarding your hair as much as possible. Whether you're one that actually has your hands in your hair all the time, or if you're one that's just like, Krystal, I don't even own a flat iron. I just need to make sure that my hair looks good. You got it, girl. I try to make sure that I go that extra step. And so I love using leave-in conditioners. I don't have any on hand. Unfortunately, I sold out of all of my leave-in conditioners that I had on hand, but there is a honey almond leave-in conditioner that goes in with that particular line that I absolutely love to use. I can use that on someone who is natural, relaxed, whatever, but I really, really love it for my natural clients. The other couple of items that I wanted to pinpoint would be the styling foam. Again, I don't have that on hand. It will be listed on my website. But the styling foam is something that I absolutely love to use when it comes to styling natural hair. I use the styling foam for um, wash and goes. If I'm wanting to take my little small section here and I'm working the product through my hands and then just sliding it through doing the shingling method, love that. It's not super heavy. It'll give you a nice solid hold. If you need a little bit more moisture, you can absolutely add in some type of a curling cream. That cream consistency tied in with that foam will give you a little bit more hold, a little bit more definition, and absolutely give you the sheen, the natural sheen that you're looking for. So I absolutely enjoy the results of those together. As far as evening care, ladies, please, please, please wear your silk scarves, your satin scarves, however you decide to tie up your hair at night, please do so. This is not the time to get lax on, well, I don't have to go into the office or nobody has to see me, so I'm just going to lay around. No, let's make sure that we are protecting our hair at night. Many of us toss and turn at night. We may not even be aware of it. And so wanted to make sure that we absolutely are taking care of our hair at night as well. So use your silk scarves, your satin pillowcase. If you're one of those who's just like, girl, I can't do a scarf at night, do your satin pillowcase. Some styling ideas that I would love to just offer you that would be fairly easy to do in home would be a wash and go. If you're natural, now is the perfect time to try to perfect your wash and go look. Most naturalistas have your shampoo, your conditioner, you have 50,000, moisturizing creams, you have 10 gels, you have all of these different products. Perfect time to perfect that wash and go. You can also do 2-strand twist sets. What I like to do for my clients who do the 2-strand twist sets is in the salon, I'll do your 2-strand twist set. I'll let you dry under the dryer, but then I will create a style or a look for you that can last you for about 3 weeks. So let's just say today you get off of this live and you're like, hey, I want to try a 2-strand twist set. So what I would suggest doing, getting your products together, do your 2-strand twist, and then take some hairpins. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Take your hairpins and then just pin your hair up. You can play around. There's no perfect or right way to pin your hair up. You can have some hair hanging down in your face and then going up in the back. You can have it all kind of shifted over to one side and allowing the hair to kind of fall and cascade on the other side of your face. So many different ways to do that, but doing this will allow that style to last for 3 weeks, and I'll tell you how. So that first week, you're wearing your pin up. Put your bonnet on at night, scarf around your edges, whatever the case may be. You wake up, you have an amazing natural updo. That goes on for a week, starting to look a little rough. Your twists are starting to look a little lived in. And so at that point, the night before you get ready to have a different look, take your pins out, let your twists fall down. That way they'll kind of fall in the way that you want them to fall. Wear that for a week. A lot of my clients will let them hang down, but then they'll take another pin and just pin up a few and just have some hair coming down on the side, but the rest of and the majority of their twists are hanging. You can wear that for a week. And then the third and final week, you can do the twist out. By this time, you've had these twists in for 2 weeks. You are going to be looking at a bomb twist out. Amazing sheen, amazing definition. And of course, maintaining your twist out can be very simple. You can spray a little leave-in up there, fluff, lift, separate the parts throughout your head, and you're good to go. Pineappling is amazing. Once you get to that point where your hair has a little bit of length and you're able to pineapple. Pineapple, for those of you that don't know, taking a scarf kind of like this and then just pulling it up and allowing the length of your hair to kind of shine through, kind of like a pineapple. The key, I guess right now, the biggest key is increasing moisture while wearing low maintenance styles for minimal manipulation. A lot of times when we have a lot of time on our hands, we want to do things. We want to try out makeup things. We want to try out different hairstyles. Not necessarily the greatest time to do that, just because you could potentially do something and then there be damage to your hair. That's what we're trying to avoid. So think low maintenance, high moisture. The next hair type that I would like to talk about is color treated hair. So I love color. My hair is currently colored right now. A lot of my clients have colored hair. And so the biggest thing to keep in mind and to keep at the forefront of your mind during this time while you're away from your stylist and not able to get to him or her is moisture, moisture, moisture. Cannot stress that enough. A lot of times women come to me and they're like, I want to do color, but I'm kind of scared because the last time I did it, my hair fell all out and so on and so forth. And really, it's not the color necessarily that took your hair out. It's not that at all. Color in and of itself will not take your hair out. When it's applied improperly, that can lead to damage. When you're not maintaining it properly at home, that is what can most definitely lead to damage. And so, not taking care of it could be not making sure that you're using the right products on it to maintain its vibrancy and the health of your hair. Color treated hair does need a little bit more TLC. And so, that being said, that TLC, the big segment of that is going to be the moisture. So again, cleanse, condition, leave-in conditioners, and then sealing in those ends with an oil of some sort. I do have a natural oil by Influence again. I absolutely love this. I can use a little bit. What I like to do, even with my braids, and I'll kind of touch on this a little bit later, but I've been using this as well as a leave-in conditioner for my braids as well. But if your hair is color treated, regardless of if you're natural, relaxed, however, wherever you fall in that spectrum, you're definitely going to want to maintain your cleansing schedule every 2 weeks. Some are every week. If you're working out, definitely every week. You don't want a whole lot of buildup on your scalp to kind of clog those hair follicles. Leave-in conditioner, pre-blow dry or pre-styling, and then sealing the ends with oil. One of the things my mom used to tell me when I was younger is, Krystal, as soon as you get out the shower, make sure you put on your lotion and your oils. And I would be like, girl, I got time for that. Let me get other things. But when I got into hair school and I got through that process, and I started to think about and see the importance of making sure that you layer things properly and the timing at which you do it. A lot of times when your hair is wet, or when your hair is wet, that outside cuticle layer, especially, is open. When you shampoo your hair using that hot water, that opens up that cuticle layer. And so that's the perfect time to put all the nutrients, all the things that's going to help to moisturize and strengthen that hair strand. Same thing can be said about skin. Again, that's another story that we can go into later, but I do like to explain that to my clients as to when the time to put a leave-in, or when the time to put a moisturizer, or whatever the case may be, on their hair. You want to seal in that moisture somehow. I like to use the It's Natural oil by Influence. Another thing or tip that I could give you who are color treated would be using minimal heat while you're at home. There's so many different styles that you can do without actually having to use direct heat on your hair. During this time, I was actually messaging one of my client friends earlier this morning. She did a flexi rod set and just slept in the flexi rods overnight. No heat required. And then this morning, she has an amazing flexi rodded style. She can go in, separate her curls, and it looks amazing. That's another definite style that you can do while you're at home. If you don't have flexi rods, whether you're natural or relaxed, you could absolutely do a braid out. You can do a flat twist out. You can do so many different things. You can blow dry your hair and then do little Zulu knots, is what we used to call them in school, just to kind of give yourself a nice little wand curl type of a look. And so there are a lot of different things that you can do with minimal heat to your hair. If you're able to sleep in flexi rods, that's always a good go-to. I enjoy the look of flexi rods. It's fun. Makes me feel really girly when I have a flexi rod set. And so those are just a couple of different things that I would definitely suggest to you in terms of maintaining your color treated hair. Another big question that I've received since I kind of advertised that I would be doing this with Pastor Bianca today was, I have a lot of clients and a lot of people have reached out to me about transitioning through quarantine. Some of you decided, 6-7 months ago, hey, you know what? I'm going to go natural. I'm going to find me a stylist and she's going to get me on the right track and I'm going to go natural. And then there we go. Quarantine happened. COVID happened. And so now you're stuck. Don't necessarily understand, how do I maintain these two different textures? How do I make my hair look like something without looking like I have, an afro and then straight hair on the ends? What do I do? Biggest thing I would say to you is be patient with your hair. Of course, your stylist working with that transitioning hair, there are two different textures that you're having to tend to. And you don't want damage done to either one of them. So be patient with it. When it comes to detangling, take smaller sections. A lot of times in salons, we'll tend to take, the 4 quadrants, separate those into 2 if you have to. Separate those into smaller sections and take your time. Use your wide tooth comb and detangle from the ends and work your way up to the root. That's going to make sure that you don't lose hair unnecessarily. Using your wide tooth comb, as I stated, moisturizing both textures. Don't just focus on the natural part or the part where your new growth and your texture is coming in, but focus on the ends as well. You don't want splitting to happen. Of course, I explain all the time to my clients, your hair split, your end split, it's going to work its way up that hair shaft, and that's what we want to avoid. So making sure that you're moisturizing the entire hair strand is going to be super, super key. If you are transitioning, of course, maintaining those two separate textures can present a bit of a challenge, and then trying to find styling options for those can present a challenge as well. And so that said, doing braid outs, whether you do cornrows or plaits, will absolutely be beneficial to you. If you're one that doesn't know how to braid or doesn't know how to cornrow, everybody can do a twist. Just ravel those two things together and then pin the ends. That way you have some type of a curl or a wave towards the ends where your hair isn't natural. Doing those types of styles can be very fun during this time. You could discover a love for various natural styles that you probably never would have tried before. The last group of people that I would like to talk about have braids. I opted to go ahead and get braids just because those of you who know Krystal know that she is very quick to change up her hairstyle. I can see a picture on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. I can see somebody walking in my neighborhood with an amazing style and they give me an idea for something and I want to change it. So to safeguard myself, I said, let me go ahead and get braids. But a big thing that a lot of you may be wondering, and just generally speaking, you get your hair braided and then it's just like, man, what happened? I got this extra length, but my hair feels like trash. What's going on? Again, moisture, moisture, moisture is super key. Again, I told you from the beginning, this was definitely going to be a running theme. Moisture is going to be a running theme throughout this time. During this time, while I have braids, I love to spray my braids with a leave-in conditioner and then follow behind it with the light oil at the roots. So what I do is I go all in, I spray, 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 spray all over my head. And then I'm making sure that where the ends of my hair in the braids, I'm focusing on that too, because I don't want my ends to dry out. And then when I take it out, they're split or damaged or anything like that. And so I'll do that. And again, I'll follow up and I'll seal it again with my natural oil by Influence. And I'll seal it. I'll put probably about a quarter size amount of oil in my hand at a time. And then I'll run my hands and my fingers through the braids, making sure that I focus on the ends as well. And so then once I've gone through my whole head with that, I'll then take another quarter size amount and then I'll dab my finger in the oil and then just go through each of my parts and make sure that I get a little oil down to my scalp so that my scalp does not dry out during this time. Another thing, if you're at that point, maybe you've had those braids in for a few weeks and your scalp is starting to get dry, starting to itch a bit. Back in the day, we used to use Sea Breeze. Influence does have an antiseptic, which will be comparable to Sea Breeze, but better for your hair and skin. And you can use that. Again, take your little cotton ball, put a little antiseptic on the cotton ball and go through your parts and just kind of massage in. That way it's going to try to be able to pull out and kind of break up whatever buildup is on your hair. Of course, when you do that, you definitely want to go back in and follow up with some type of moisturizing agent, whether it be your leave-in and your oil or just your oil by itself. Antiseptic is definitely not supposed to be a substitute for cleansing. And so absolutely, you can absolutely cleanse your hair and your scalp during this time while you have your braids. It might be a bit time consuming depending on the type of braided style. Of course, my braids hang pretty long. And so drying would probably take all day as I don't have my hooded dryer here. But again, making sure that I'm doing what I need to do to cleanse, condition, and moisturize my hair. Those are the biggest things that I could say to anyone who is in need of help during this time. I am offering assistance to anyone who just needs some help. You want someone to talk you through the styling options or whatever the case may be, I am offering consultations, virtual consultations. I've actually had 2 clients who I sat on the phone with them for about an hour and a half apiece, walking them through the process of one doing a silk press, the other doing a wash and go. And so that's something I want to make myself available to my clients, but then also you who may not necessarily have a dedicated stylist that you go to but need some help during this time, I am available. You can contact me on my website. There is a link where you can reach out to me directly. My contact information is also posted on my website below, and you'll see that banner pop up momentarily. If you would like to reach out to me directly and get something scheduled for a virtual consultation, you can text my business line at 919-980-4160. That is the contact number that I'm using to communicate with my clients and those who are just in need of some help with their hair. Questions you may have, I'll be absolutely glad to answer those at that time. But yeah, so I hope that this has been beneficial for you. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook, shoot me a text message, reach out to me via my website. Various methods of getting in contact with me, but I'm definitely here for you. It's been a little difficult for stylists right now, but it's still been very rewarding to be able to stay connected to my clients and then be able to kind of share some of my education and knowledge with you guys. So I hope this has definitely been beneficial for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Krystal. I do have a couple follow-up questions.
Okay.
Can you give us that number, that phone number again? You mentioned 919?
Absolutely. 919-980-4160.
4160. So that's for
Yes.
the virtual consultation.
Yes.
Okay.
That's for the
Also,
virtual
your website, which is at the bottom.
Yes, the website is at the bottom right now, so you can absolutely schedule the virtual consultation or virtual appointment using that link as well.
Okay. Now I have a couple.
Let's go.
Okay. I have a couple questions. Let me see if there's any on Facebook. Okay. So we have someone who says that they are graying and thinning. Do you have any advice? I'm sure right now which is difficult because no one is open, stylist is
Right.
open. So, do you have any advice for that person?
Graying and thinning. So, of course, right now it's very difficult for anyone if you are graying at the time, if you've been coloring your hair in the salon or even at home, not necessarily able to get to the store to get what you need to cover your grays. Um, the biggest thing that I would say is about the thinning aspect is right now concealing is going to be the easiest thing if you are going into work and things like that. What I recommend to my clients is 2 things. If they come into me and they have some thinning and they actually have thin spots or a thin spot in their hair, a lot of times it could be hereditary. A lot of times I do find that it is a result of just different medications, the effects of medications. Anything you put in your body is going to have to come out somehow through your hair, skin, nails, or otherwise. And so that's one thing to keep in mind. Right now, one of the things that I have a couple of my clients doing is a lot of dermatologists. They may not necessarily be in the office, but they are also offering virtual consultations and consultations to kind of help reach out to a dermatologist. I can do a lot when it comes to helping to grow your hair back, but because I am not a doctor and I can't necessarily diagnose to a T, hey, this is what this is. Getting down to the root is what allows me and enables me to create the perfect hair plan for you. And so that will be one of the first things that I do or suggest for you post quarantine is to, if you have insurance coverage, find a good dermatologist. I have a list of them that I can provide you with. Again, if you would use the number that's scrolling across your screen, reach out to me. And let me know, hey, I'm, dealing with this whole thinning thing. I have a list of dermatologists in this area that I can send to you as well. Going to a dermatologist is going to be, should be your first step. If you know what the issue is, if you know what's causing it, it's easier to create a plan to address it. One of the things that a dermatologist actually referred to me or suggested to me rather when I had accidentally pulled out a braid on the side of my head a couple years ago was a product called minoxidil. Now, again, you definitely want to run that by your doctor and run that by your dermatologist before you just jump to, the grocery store or the drugstore and pick it up. But minoxidil is one of the active agents in Rogaine. Provided it's not a deeper issue that's causing the thinning. Typically, when you use that on a regular basis and consistently, it will kind of facilitate growth, and you'll see that hair grow back. Of course, there are some extreme cases where there's some other things going on, in which case you would need to take more drastic measures, such as getting a prescription. I've had some clients get injections, various different options that you have for that. But if, post quarantine, you're wanting to tackle those grays, hey, come in, let's get you an appointment booked. And we can cover your grays. We can absolutely do that.
Okay, thank you so much for answering that question. We have another question as well from Facebook. Okay. It is, please review the products that would help keep our natural hair moisturized. And I know you mentioned the products that's on your website.
Absolutely.
But, say if someone cannot get to, the store right now, it may be difficult. I know right now there's some areas who are not receiving packages on a timely basis. Right. If you can kind of maybe just review some options for moisturizing and keeping natural hair moisturized.
Absolutely. So without going into product names, I can tell you product types. So of course, your conditioning and keeping your hair moisturized doesn't start with your conditioner. It doesn't start with your leave-in. It doesn't start with the creams and the butters and things like that you use. It actually starts with your shampoo. Your shampoos, you should look for moisturizing shampoos. A lot of times, of course, we live in this age where natural, holistic everything is the thing right now. And so less is more. A lot of times when you see products and they have a list this long of ingredients, there's a lot in there. You want to look for natural items, things that are moisturizing. And so that's why I love, again, that honey almond conditioner, things with shea butter in it. Of course, everybody's hair is different. My mom and I had similar textures at one point. Now we cannot use the same product. She can use certain things on her hair that I can't, and vice versa. And so everybody's hair is going to be different, but you're going to want to make sure that you get a good quality shampoo, making sure that you get a good quality conditioner. It's been so long since I've actually shopped for shampoos and conditioners in the beauty supply store, but whatever you have at home, again, schedule a virtual consultation, because I can try to kind of come up with based on what you have in your home, I can come up with a good hair care plan for you. As far as moisture, leave-in conditioning. If you have a leave-in, let's incorporate that into your hair care regimen. Also, if you have a styling foam, not a mousse, but a styling foam is going to help to add moisture to your hair and make your hair a little bit more pliable and give you the hold that you need for whatever natural style that you're looking for. Creams and hair butters, things of that nature are also going to be good styling products to use that will also add moisture. Again, the water-based products are always going to be the best. Water moisturizes, oil seals. So if you keep that in mind as you're looking at the ingredients in the products that you have at home. And then for future reference, water is going to moisturize. Water-based products are going to moisturize and hydrate, whereas the oil is going to seal in whatever you put in on your hair prior to. So I hope that answered your question.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I have a couple more. All right. So I wrote down some questions. So say, for example, you have a person with relaxed hair. Okay. And going into this particular stay-at-home order, right before salons closed, they were not able, this person maybe was not able to get in to their stylist to get their hair relaxed. And here they are, not knowing when salons are going to open, but they need a relaxer. Is there anything that this, person can do to make sure their hair doesn't break off during this time? And can you give any insight into that?
Absolutely. So the first thing, don't go and buy a box relaxer at home. Leave that to your stylist. I know it's difficult. I know you're tired of the roots feeling a little thick. Um, I understand, but leave the relaxer to your hairstylist. You don't know how long that box relaxer has been sitting on the shelf, so leave that. But in lieu of that, what I would suggest is moisture. Again, making sure that you moisturize when you shampoo, when you condition. We are all at home, have a lot more free time on our hands. Take this time to start doing a deep conditioning treatment while you're at home. If you don't have a hooded dryer, maybe use your shower cap. If you don't have a shower cap, you can take it back and take one of those grocery bags from under your sink and wrap that thing around your head. That's going to keep some of the heat in. That heat is actually what activates getting that outer layer of your hair strand open such that it can grab a hold of the good stuff that's in that conditioner. So just doing the deep conditioning treatments at home. Leave that on your hair or in your head rather for 20 to 30 minutes while you're cleaning or reading or cooking or whatever the case may be. Rinse with cool water. That's going to close up that outside layer of your hair strand, making sure that your hair is able to hold on to all the good stuff that you just put into it. And then again, being patient when it comes to blow drying, being patient when it comes to flat ironing. A lot of my clients, I like to do the silk press service on my relaxed clients, even especially when we're trying to stretch out that relaxer a little bit more, just to make sure that we are not over processing their hair or doing it too frequently. And so during this time, I would suggest taking some time, if you have an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how long or thick your hair is, taking some time to sit down, blow dry your hair in smaller sections. You can take a section about that big in the back, work your way up, and then blow dry. When you blow dry, don't just kind of jump right into it, but just blow dry from your ends and then work your way up to your roots. The idea here when you're blow drying is you want to try to get your hair as straight as possible, not just dry, but as straight as possible with the blow dryer. That does not necessarily mean that you take your blow dryer and your hair strand and you put it just like this necessarily. But taking some time, it may take you 10 minutes to get that one section dry. Totally fine. We have nothing but time right now. So doing that and then following up with your flat iron. Small sections are going to be key to getting your hair as straight as possible. So even if you are relaxed and you like to wear your hair the blowout look, the straight look, take smaller sections, the type of sections that you normally would, cut that in half, and then flat iron that section. Using a heat protectant of some sort. There are a lot of serums and then products. A lot of product lines are actually starting to put thermal protection agents in their products and incorporating that into the makeup, which is a great thing. And so definitely using a heat protecting is going to be good, but also just, I can't stress enough, moisture, making sure that you're doing your shampoo, your conditioner, leave-in conditioner if you have it. If not, making sure that you're doing your deep conditioning treatments, and then just be patient with your hair. I know it can be frustrating. I know even for me, when my hair is not doing what I wanted to do, it makes me upset sometimes, but have a little patience with your hair. Take smaller sections when you're blow drying, take smaller sections when you're flat ironing your hair. And as far as maintaining it, pin curls are your best friend. Pin curls can make sure that the curls and the body that you have when you leave the salon, it'll last. It'll cause your silk press style to last, and you'll be able to maintain the curls a lot longer doing that as opposed to just wrapping it like we traditionally do. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Um, that's good. The other question I have, so right now, for example, myself, medical workers, nurses, are having to go into clinics. The type of construction projects that I have are healthcare, um, sites. So I'm actually going to an urgent care. I'm going to, a medical center. And when we go in, we have to put on our PPE.
Mm-hmm.
Then oftentimes it said that we probably need to wash our hair with everything that's going on. It can attach to your hair for a certain amount of time if you're in this space. If a person has to wash their hair every day, is there something, depending on the hair type, it might be just naturally drier.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the moisture, and I think I heard you say it starts from the shampoo. So if you can kind of just, maybe walk us through that. If a person in this time had to wash their hair every day,
Right.
how would that look? Just help us there.
Gotcha. So, one of the things that I would say, of course, you have your deep cleansing shampoos. Most every product line offers some type of a deep cleansing shampoo, or a detoxing shampoo. Um, uh, I do know of the ones that I use in the salon. I actually do have those. But if you are in the position where you're having to shampoo your hair every day, of course, the biggest fear is, oh my gosh, it's going to be dry. I don't want to strip my hair of the natural oils. Um, Moisture starting with the shampoo, meaning the type of shampoo that you're using. There are some shampoos out there that are a little harsh on your hair. They'll definitely get you clean, but then it'll feel like it just took the life away from your hair as well. So you're just going to want to look for if you don't have anything at home, if you're in Walmart or Target, grocery shopping, picking up some essential items, make sure that you stop by that hair aisle and look for, I know Shea Moisture is a really good shampoo. I actually have some in my cabinet that I use when I run out of, other things. Is a good backup. Using something that's going to be super moisturizing. The Shea Moisture is really good. As I Am is a product line that has some really super moisturizing shampoos. And so you're going to want to use gentle shampoos, moisturizing shampoos, not something that's going to be super harsh and strip a lot of your essential oils, the oil that your scalp and your hair normally produces. Using those types of shampoos are going to be good for you during this time.
Okay. Okay. Those are good. I have some takeaways. I have some notes.
Okay.
Water moisturizes,
Mm-hmm.
oil seals.
Yeah.
That was something that you said that was really, really good. I struggle with this, but I'm going to try to do my best on wearing a scarf. I struggle with this because I sweat so much, right? And there might be other people who have the same issue. You just
Mm-hmm.
sweat a lot. And there are times when I can have on a scarf and I started sweating, and then in the morning, my hair is wet,
Yeah.
So I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do this. But if you can't wear a scarf, the other suggestion was a pillowcase. So,
Yes. Doing a satin pillowcase. Typically, I believe I actually did find a satin pillowcase years ago at Walmart. Not sure if they are still carrying them, but definitely a satin pillowcase. That way, you can avoid some of the friction with the satin pillowcase. Your hair, as it brushes up against it, it's not necessarily going to be like there's not going to be as much friction. Of course, they're going to be touching, but it can just kind of slide across your hair as opposed to just rubbing up against your hair.
okay, those are great things. Thank you so much, Crystal.
No problem. No problem. Thank
Is
you for
there
having me.
any other? So I know you're on social media. You have your website, so you're on all of the social media, Twitter, IG.
Not on Twitter.
Okay.
I've actually been told I need to get on Twitter just so I can kind of share some more of these types of tips. But I am on Facebook at Krystal Marie. Also, my business page is All Things Beauty INC. Same thing on Instagram. All Things Beauty INC is my handle. You can follow me there. I'll definitely be posting different tips. Some of these tips that I've shared up here, I'll definitely be sharing on my social media platforms just in case you missed it. Um, Need more information, absolutely reach out to me during this time. These virtual consultations, people are really, really trying to get in for those because people need help. They trust us, you guys trust us with your hair. And so we want to be there for you. I want to be there for you during this time as well. So if you need some additional information, if you literally need me to sit there and walk you through this hairstyle, sitting on the phone, trust me, I don't have anything to time. I don't mind. And I love hair. So I'd be glad to reach out to me using my website or the phone number listed on the screen. And we'll get you together.
Okay, I have one more question. Looks like it came on Facebook, so we're going to
Okay.
answer that. It says, any suggestions for younger hair?
Younger hair, I'm assuming you mean little girls or boys
I'm
even.
assuming so too.
Yeah, because I just love that curly look on boys as well. At any rate, so for your little girls, if you have a little girl at home, mom, if you are not able to braid, if you're able to twist, right now would be an amazing time if she has a little bit of length, not to the point where you're actually having to pull it into a ponytail. But if your little girl has some length, she's natural, she has, some length to her hair, doing 2-strand twist sets would be amazing. A lot of little girls love to wear their hair down, so that would be amazing for them to be able to feel their hair hanging and things like that. If you're able to braid, this would be a perfect time to do a braided style or cornrow style for your little girl right now. That's something that she can play around with. She can, it'll be easy for her to sleep and then wake up and you're not having to do and manipulate her hair every day. Doing those types of natural styles would be amazing. Of course, I get a lot of questions in general from mothers who they have concerns. They're just using water or whatever, not sure what to use on their daughter's hair. Again, everybody's head of hair is different, but you definitely want to shampoo. You definitely want to condition your little one's hair. You definitely want to use your leave-ins. You want to do deep conditioning treatments during this time because we want her hair to flourish even during this time as well. But as far as styling options, 2-strand twist sets, flat twist, even little ponytails. Of course, the elastic bands. Sometimes people do have an issue with putting the elastic bands on their daughter's hair. Totally get it. Do your 2-strand twist during this times, or even braids, and it can be just her hair braid. It doesn't have to have extensions or anything like that. It can just be her hair. But those are some really good styling options for your little ones.
Okay. And then I have a question, I guess, in addition to that. For kids, a lot of times they are, even boys, they are very tender headed, what we call tender, So, do you have any suggestions on detangling for even those little boys who really don't want to get their hair combed? Do you have any suggestions? Do we start from the end? What type of suggestions do you have for us on that?
Absolutely. So anytime you're detangling, you always want to start at the end. That way you're not pulling at your hair and ripping your hair. A lot of times that's what happens when we're not patient with our hair and we're trying to get through it as quickly as possible so we can move on to the next step. We tend to rush and pull at our hair. Start at the ends and work your way up. It's also easier to detangle damp hair or wet hair. So if you have conditioner, if you don't have specific detangling products, using something like a conditioner, but even if it's a leave-in, and if you don't want to use your conditioner, get you some water in a spray bottle and then spray your baby's hair down, spray your hair down, and then use a wide tooth comb, start at the ends and work your way up, slowly working your way up to the root. That can be a little challenging when you are working with someone who is tender-headed, but making sure that you do try to saturate the hair with conditioner is the easiest thing to do. But if you don't have conditioner, using some water on it, saturate that hair, use a wide tooth comb, start at the ends and work your way up. And then sometimes, even for little kids, sometimes if you give them something to do or you give them a part to play in that process, if they're helping you, sometimes it can make it a little bit easier because they're slightly distracted. And so what I've done in the past, and then what some of my other stylist friends who service little girls and boys, is they will give them a comb and say, hey, this is your section. So I want you to do what I'm doing. I want you to do what mommy's doing. And I want you to start at the end and comb. Work your way up. That will give them some type of, like I said, distraction, so you can start making some headway through the process of their detangling session.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time in doing this, and definitely, I think that we got a wealth of knowledge here as well. And so, as you can see, you can reach out to Krystal. On social media. We have her website, all those types of things. And so this is going to conclude our live session for today. Our next live session will be on Thursday at 7 p.m. Deacon Kenneth Ivory, who is one of our deacons at St. James Baptist Church, is going to talk about budgeting. And then on Saturday at noon, a good friend of mine, Brent Wright, is going to come and he's going to talk about sustainable future, economic future is what he's going to talk about. And so you want to be on those. You're going to get a lot of good financial information, a good economic information that a lot of people need during this time as well. And so I hope that you're enjoying these live sessions. We want to hear back from you, your opinion as well. Let us know how we're doing with these. If there are any other topics that you want to hear as well. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless you. We're praying for you, all of you and your families during this time. Much love.